What if I told you that while trends rose and disappeared, while charts reset and headlines changed, one name never moved? Not because it was pushed, not because it was loud, but because millions of people, week after week, chose the same person again. Because as we enter 2026, Jin is not chasing relevance. Relevance is chasing him. For 96 consecutive weeks, Jin has stood at number 1 on the My One Pick weekly ranking. That's not a moment. That's not luck. That's nearly 2 years of uninterrupted loyalty. Every single week, without fail, fans returned. They voted again. They chose again. And what makes this extraordinary isn't just the number. It's the silence around it. No controversy, no scandal, no sudden push. Just trust that never cracked. And if you zoom out even further, the picture becomes even more powerful. For 24 consecutive months, Jin has also dominated the monthly rankings. 2 full years. Think about how much changes in 2 years. New artists debut, algorithms shift, audiences move on. But Jin didn't move. In December alone, he collected over 43 million votes. Not streams, not passive clicks. Votes, intentional acts of support. This is the kind of number that only comes from emotional attachment, the kind that doesn't fade when the spotlight shifts. And this loyalty isn't limited to one category. Jin continued to rank first for 20 consecutive months in the One Pick K-pop solo chart. Month after month, the results stayed the same, because fans weren't voting out of habit, they were voting out of belief. And belief shows up in unexpected places. Jin wasn't just seen as an idol, he became a symbol. He was voted the most trendy star for advertising, trusted with representing brands and images. He became the cheering fairy, the person people wanted to think about on the most stressful days of their lives. He was seen as warm enough, comforting enough, to represent something as simple and intimate as fabric softener commercials. And beyond image, he was recognized as the most influential donation star of 2025, which says everything. Because popularity fades, but respect stays. And then, just as fans were reflecting on everything they had given, Jin gave something back. At the end of December, the concert film Runso Jin E Tour the movie was released worldwide, not as a recap, but as a memory. A chance to relive moments that once existed only in real time. Scenes from the Goyang fan concert filled theaters, not just on screens, but through 4DX movement, ScreenX immersion, Ultra 4DX intensity. Fans didn't just watch, they felt it again. The cheers, the silence before a song, the look in his eyes. And once again, Jin confirmed something fans already knew. Even when he's not physically present, his presence remains. And then, as the year closed, something shifted. BTS confirmed what fans had waited years to hear. March 20th, 2026, an official comeback. After 3 years and 9 months without a full album. But instead of a loud announcement, they chose something softer. Something personal, handwritten letters, real letters delivered to fans' homes, each word written by hand, each message carrying time, gratitude, and sincerity. We've waited more earnestly than anyone else. Thank you so much for waiting. The year we meet has finally come. These weren't promotional lines, they were confessions. And Jin's words were simple, yet with meaning. Thank you so much for waiting. Not promises, not explanations, just acknowledgement. And on the last day of 2025, all 7 members stood together again in a live broadcast. They laughed. They reflected. They hoped. They talked about safety, about doing it right, about making this comeback meaningful. A new album, a large-scale world tour, a return not just to music, but to each other. And standing quietly at the center of all of this is Jin. The same Jin who never left the top. The same Jin who never demanded attention. The same Jin people kept choosing, even while waiting. Because when loyalty lasts this long, it's no longer about rankings. It's about trust. And as 2026 begins, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. This isn't just a comeback. It's a reunion built on years of belief. And Jin, he didn't just wait. He stayed.